Sitting here on my phone, the internet is where I roam, and my chat is in the zone. I'm virtually not alone. The devices that I own, reading clips with the flow. As a medium of gold, this corner's now my home.
Good to see you, everybody. Welcome to today's special episode, a very, very special episode of the Griswold Grim YouTube and I guess Twitter streaming. I don't know, that's apparently a thing over there. Let's get the first copyright strike. Let's do some savings throws because you're swimming in the mind control. If you choose the die that gets 10 or higher, you get half damage from the mind control that follows for today and the rest of the show. And you're probably going to need it. You get to pick between survival, social, wisdom, or heart. And then I'd say choose. Survivalist with a 10 today. Socialist, the number of transformation, 11. Lovers of wisdom, 4. I don't know. You're going to need your bonuses. Hard folks, though, prime 17. And indigo kids with a pair of 9s. Welcome. There's your savings throws for today. This Thursday, June 15th. The Ides? Is the 15th always the Ides? This and all episodes of my stream are brought to you by the Shadow Cabal of production executives for whom we currently and presently heartily thank. You can usually join the Shadow Cabal by clicking the Buy Me a Coffee link at the top of the chat and then doing the membership thing, but I forgot to paste it at the top of the chat today. We're also playing around with doing a card for every stream, so let's get that out of the way as well. There are some Twitter tarot experiments going on over on the Twitter, and if I don't get more interaction than the Mary quite contrary over there, I'm probably gonna peter off on that. But embrace it while it's there. And the card for the day is the Suicide King. So what's that tell you about this stream, ladies and gentlemen? What does that tell you about this Pageau Pommel's Pool burning Strawmen stream of the Grim Grizz show? I don't know. This one?
I believe that if everyone sees what just a few people become when they wholly embrace their gifts, others will awaken.
Lucidity. Ask your doctor if it's right for you. Okay, I guess we'll do the show now. We're sharing the key piece. The key piece of the show today is this tab here, because over on the Bluebird Network, now officially X Corp, this our hero of the day, Matthieu Pageau, has decided to beat up on old Tim Pool, and we'll be covering that extensively. Also, find on his Twitter this fancy pants, all these flow charts of how the bad things happen. He's doing a defense against the dark arts class on Twitter. I don't know if he's doing it, if he knows he's doing it, but since this thread here is likely to get me some YouTube views, I decided to go over it, and we'll be doing that shortly. Meanwhile, here's an appearance he once did. He once did over on the Tammy Peterson channel. Let's see. We'll go here. No, we use 33rd minute, man.
Meaning.
Oh yeah, I think you can get more probably when you're young. You can get more. You can get more insights when you're very young.
Yes, because
that
you're not
lasts you through your whole life,
Mhm.
and then your whole life you can try to figure out what that was. You can have an experience. So yeah, I read a lot of rabbinical stuff just because there's a lot of commentary on different stories that come from Jewish tradition. And it looks to me like it's pretty ancient stuff. So the older traditions you can find, usually the better. Because if they've lasted so long, it's usually because they have something important contained in them, some insight. Because otherwise they would have been forgotten a long time ago. So
Yes,
if you can find
yes.
some old traditions, it's always a good thing. But it's hard to appreciate these things because this is something we're not used to. We're not trying to understand complex things. We're trying to understand simple things. So there are certain ideas that are so simple that we don't see them or we don't hear them. And then you need some examples, I guess. You need some analogies so that it becomes more concrete. It becomes more, I don't want to say personal, but yeah, I guess personal. You have to be.
Don't worry, Matthieu. We're going over some of your concrete examples later on in the show because Hello. I see the assassins have failed. As a member of the Sacred Order of Foolish Transparency, I disclose to you now that since I know you're here to see this Tim Pool Pageau gets pummeling bit, I have to kick it way back to the end of the show. It's just the proper way to do certain things on the internet. And welcome. Oh, remember, Embody, this is the quiet one that Grim has the voiceover. Remember, Embody.
There is no agency. We want
what's best. So, in order to stall appropriately, before we get to the Tim Pool segment, I'm going to take a swing around the corner and take a visit over to the Transfigured channel, where our good friend Sam the Heretic is from. You can find the Fringe Encounter with me and Sam the Heretic in the YouTube podcast thing. I don't know what that is, but he's talking to Trip and Hank about Calvinism. And now you can hear some.
Welcome to another episode of Transfigured. I am here with Trip and Hank, although this is not a Church Fathers discussion. Hank has been bashing Calvinism so frequently and so hard in the Church Fathers series that we thought it was time to balance that out. And Trip is my friend who's also been on the channel multiple times. And he is here to defend Calvin and Calvinism and all of its honor and dignity. I should say I'm a little bit in between. Obviously, Unitarianism and Calvinism don't often get along very well, but
But we'll have to check back and on that later. First, let's check on the other Pageau and see what he's been up to or is currently up to. Why, it looks like he's talking to a Burning Man.
The other people forces him to build a city. And so as soon as Cain is alienated, it says right away, the first thing he does is that he builds a city. And then in his line, all technology is in his descendants. So if you follow the genealogy in Genesis, you'll see that it's like his descendants build all the arts and all the technology. So music, tent making, like agriculture, and then also ultimately metal, which really means weapons, right? Which means also weapons as well. So war making. So you.
Well. Meanwhile, our good friend Gavin is tripping out on mushrooms.
Mushroom. That's the mushroom that Mario takes. And the reason I discovered it is that in Florida, they are prosecuting some stores that sell amanitas. Some of the amanitas are poisonous. You should know that. And you should know that these things can be dangerous. I have to say that up front. I've done research. But they're powerful. And as with powerful things, they can be helpful and they can be harmful. So there you go. There's your spoiler alert.
So roll your savings throws. Meanwhile, Anna Chino Ted is finally making his big-time debut on Pastor Paul over here. And Paul looks thrilled about it.
And the fact that I looked around and I saw a lot of other people who are also very smart coming to very different conclusions about scripture. And it wasn't, and I didn't want to get in arguments with people about it. I wanted to figure out how there's a way that we could, let's say, exist in some sort of unity. And I think I looked at church authority. Seems like it'd be nice. I mean, because I in terms of like ecclesiology and liturgy, I grew up on the ragged fringe, where of course it's there. But
in terms of ecclesiology and liturgy, and now after this fancy pants, a little bit from our good friend Freedom's lunch, and we'll consider this the further ado. After this additional further ado, I will finally get to the part that you probably are here to see, and that is the Pageau pummeling pool over on Twitter, but with me reading it instead of Pageau in that voice of Matthieu's.
I'm so depressed I don't know what I'm doing. Not got a clue.
I'm wearing dark glasses today because I'm seeing the future and it's looking very bright.
Lobster monkey goose. Okay, welcome back now. We're about to do it. I just want to play this one more time.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room?
I want to cast Magic Missile. A room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet.
I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
No, 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 no. Well, stop it. Okay, here it is. All right, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go over this Matthieu Pageau thread, where I believe it's quite the pummeling of Poole and the burning of the Strawmen. And let's see, this view is probably the one we'll go with for this. I was looking, for example. Wait, can we resume? There. How big can we make it? There we go. I was looking for examples of the crazy conspiracy programming spell, and I happened to see this video about Canadian forest fires. I just happened to. I wasn't fed by the algorithm. He recommends watching it? Only when you examine it closely. It's about 10% argument and 90% smugness and silly voices. Smugness and silly voices? It's like that's what people are on the internet for. The smugly assuming unknown intentional negative outcomes. Ooh, no. He discusses 3 theories about the Canadian fires. The grand conspiracy theory, his words, which posits the fires were started on purpose. Number 2, the corporate media theory, which posits climate change. And number 2 is personal pet theory, which blames lightning and abnormally warm weather. Now, what the hell are the Canadian fires, you may wonder. And apparently there's fires, and they all seem to have started suspiciously around the same time. Not necessarily like the ones that started in that commie place where the weapons and Mountain Dew, but up in Canada, I guess. So they happened, and similar around the same time. This video is about smugly mocking the first theory, that they were started on purpose, while directly promoting theory 3, his BS, and indirectly promoting theory 2, because by discrediting the first theory and promoting your stupid one, the only one anyone reasonable is left with is number 2, the turd option. He tried to summarize most of the arguments below, but this is no substitute for watching the video, which will make you vomit. The smugness and silly voice is 90% of it, thus the nausea induction. Creates a straw man that all the fires were started at exactly the same time, which is not. This doesn't undermine the anomaly of many fires starting simultaneously, and it doesn't matter if they started at the exact second or within hours of each other. That you make it about the exact moment is the straw man that gets burnt down. Step number 2, he entertains a false dichotomy, whatever the hell that means, that the fires were either A, started by the coordination of hundreds of people at a very great distance of each other, or B, by some top secret space laser that shoots directed energy. Do you know what I mean? But you'll note that the distance is irrelevant because there's walkie-talkies and stuff, but mentioning it makes it sound improbable that they were started by a coordinated effort to the weak-minded, whatever Matthieu means by that. Similarly, there is no reason why performing any action at the same time is at all difficult. And while it's possible space lasers exist, because it's not beyond the capacity of our Western governments by any stretch of the imagination, it is an irrelevant straw man because other means of starting fires could have been easily mentioned, And disproving the do will therefore confuse people to think that the entire notion has been disproved. That's the purpose of burning down strawmen. Then he admits that the governments are using the crisis to expand power, but continues to act as if it was ridiculous for them to cause the crisis. And then he admits arsonists were caught and then brushes it off for some reason. I don't know, you can view that closely if you like. It sounds painful. He admits there was potentially no drought, and as someone who lives there, Matthieu claims that was the case, and then brushed it off by saying the map is old, which is when you brush off things and then use something irrelevant to brush them off with, it's suspicious. And then the map and the fire-starting helicopter, and but instead of admitting the fire-starting helicopter or drone is a less absurd way to start fires than the directed energy Mountain Dew, he focuses on the idea that the helicopters were created for Remember it.
There is no agency. We want Remember it. There is no agency. We want back. I remember. Well. Clearly, we're not supposed to talk about that, eh? Oh, shh. I was able to tell you guys on the phone that what happened, and apparently we're allowed to play again. So.
Hey there. I'm Chad the Alcoholic, and the creator of the Friday Morning Nameless channel. I'd like to welcome you to join us for the latest and greatest and most up-to-date information about all the things happening in this corner of the internet. I want to thank you for your time and your attention.
That's an interesting angle there, Grail Country Nate. That you like the lesser Pageau brother before he got on Twitter? Because I was wondering if there wasn't like a hey, I'll trade you my birthrights for your book deal. Given that to finalize the fancy he goes on to 10 whole points, mind you. Oh, 11. Let's see. Let's finish this out. If they'll let us. You have to present again. Okay, there it is. He ends with not everything needs to be a conspiracy, which itself is yet another straw man. Pointing out something looks like a conspiracy does not imply that one thinks everything is always a conspiracy. But conspiracy means breathing together. So, I do want to go over his fancy. He's got this one fancy thread where he has all of his fancy flowcharts. And here is one for protest controlled opposition. Is the protest consistent with our agenda? No. Are visible crimes being committed within the protest? No. Manufacture visible crimes within the protest and then proceed to the yes answer, which is blame the protest for the crimes and declare it illegal. Have you terminated it? No. The protest is illegal, so the remaining protesters can be suppressed. Then it's over, and you say use the suppression of protest as a legal precedent for the next iteration. So it's he gives all these fancy lenses for people with which to view the reality. The mainstream press is Hold on, I failed a savings throw against this stupid hat comment, because you see, this stupid hat comment is you're feeding the wrong beast when you make hat comments. You have to understand. Oh, here, let me say it this way. Let me do it this way. Let me finalize it with this tweet with regard to the pummeling. The pummeling is pummeled most proficiently. This pummeling here is right here. He says, the point isn't even whether he is right or wrong. What bothers me is the smugness and the assumption that it's ridiculous to think enemies might be attacking us on purpose. And that's the point. The point is you're not as safe as you think you are. And if you want to argue about what's under people's hats, then you've sufficiently neutered your own efficacy. Efficacy!
They don't get encouragement. And people need so little encouragement. It's just unbelievable. And so
I meant to play this one.
Do you have anything you want to say in conclusion?
Not really. It's like I feel like I need to put on the stream, and that was topic. I am under a heat lamp. I live in Oklahoma, Matt. I am under a heat lamp. According to Grail Country, Matthieu, left to his own devices, is incoherent. Ironically, because he tries to reduce simply too much. He seems to have no capacity for complexity, let alone... Dang, dude. You would ad hominems. How are you going to get them on the channel when you do them ad hominems? I don't understand it. The only thing I have to say in conclusion is I'm thankful for all of you who came to visit and see the pummeling of the Strawmen, of the burning of the Pageau and the Matthieu. Thanks, everybody, for making this all possible, especially you that are members of the Shadow Cabal of production executives. And don't forget the God Mask.